didn't know what I was doing. I had a cheap white shirt, cheap athletic shirt. And when I was finished the 5K, I looked down and there was blood coming out of my nipples. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know, is this stigmata, or did someone shoot me while I was running? I had no, it was like Niagara Falls that was coming out of me. 2 shots, 2 direct shots.
Hello everyone, we are back.
Wow. Yes, we are.
What's happening with GottaRunRacing?
GottaRunRacing. The Monarch Virtual 10K is available through GottaRunRacing.
Cool.
Which it's going to be pretty epic. We have a sweet medal in the works. Can't wait to show everyone what that looks like.
I can't wait to touch it.
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful one. You can walk, you can hike, you can run, you can bike 10K between now and the end of the year. And every 10K result that's uploaded to Race Roster moves a butterfly from Mexico all the way to Peterborough, 4,300K. So we need 430 people to take part.
To do a 10K,
to do
some
a 10K,
sort,
yeah.
To match the 4,300.
That's right.
Perfect.
And that butterfly is going to make it home.
Cool.
Pretty cool concept. That's with our friends at the Monarch Ultra.
Yep.
Of which I am a part. I'm helping out with race directing. And we're still looking for relay runners. So 50K or 30K segments. Again, we're going from Peterborough down by the Toronto, along the lakes, along Ontario, Erie, back up London, to Barrie. So we need runners. So check that out as well at themonarchultra.com.
And we run the north.
We run the north, still pumping along. We are now in Manitoba at Riding Mountain National Park, which, fun fact, it housed a German prisoner of war camp from 1943 to 1945. They positioned it there because of its remoteness. And the prisoners actually cut wood. Wow. And they actually went into town, which was, I think, about 15 kilometers away to Dauphin, if I'm saying that right. Interspersed with the locals, and they went back to the camp. It was very loose security, but it seems like it worked out. I don't know much about it. I want to read more about it because it's pretty incredible.
Because the Canadians were so nice. And
that's it. But you can check out We Run the North at GottaRunRacing as well.
Cool. And on today's podcast,
we have Jesse Hulley from Calgary, originally from Ontario, relocated to Calgary. And he is the luckiest son of a gun we've talked to so far, as you're going to find out.
Because we've came across him on the lucky Canadians who got into Western States.
That's right.
But he's the luckiest Canadian of the lucky Canadians to get into Western States, because it only took him 2 tickets. So he's coming off the podcast now, and we can't wait to hear what he has to say.
That's right.
Coming up.
Hey, Jesse Hulley, welcome to the program.
Oh.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So you're in Calgary.
How's everything going with you guys?
Oh, we're great.
Yes. Good. Yeah, I live in Calgary. I've been here for 10 years now, maybe a little bit longer.
What took you out
Kitchener-Waterloo original.
Oh,
okay. Just work like with everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, just normal work.
We came across your name because of the article of the lucky Canadians who got into the Western States. And our very first person we interviewed was Fanny Barrett from Calgary. Do you know her?
Yeah. We've been in talks for a bit. We haven't, with current conditions at the moment, it's kind of hard to do a meetup, as it were, with all the restrictions.
Right. And as we'll get to a little later on, we think you're probably one of the luckiest Canadians at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, with 2 tickets. I was was a bit surprised at that. I was expecting to take the long route, but guess I got drawn a little bit quicker than what most people do.
Well, we'll get into that. So how about we start at the beginning? When and why did you start running?
Well, I started when I was in my early 30s, probably 30, 31. It was mainly, I was a bit out of shape at the time, and I was looking to get back into to be healthier again. And I started doing just local runs around the local, just downtown river that we have here, and found a few articles, and it was around the same time that obstacle racing really got picked up steam and popular, and that's what got me into running, was doing Spartan races and Tough Mudders and that type of, those started getting into that racing, and then suddenly, gradually migrated into doing ultras and more trail running.
You didn't jump right into ultras though. You must have done something in between.
Well, it depends on what you define as an ultra. Like, because that's one of the questions that I've been struggling with, is what is the definition of an ultra marathon? Is it just anything that's over 42.2 kilometers, or is it a 50K? Because if it's anything, if we're going off of 42.2 kilometers, then my first ultra was Spartan Ultra Beast in Sun Peaks, and that was 2 years, less than a year after I did my first obstacle race.
Wow! And
the Spartan Ultra Beast at that time was about 44, 48 kilometers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't really have much training or experience doing anything like that. I think the longest. Sorry.
So that's 44K of not just running, but all the obstacles in between.
Yeah. With that one, they sent us right up the mountains at Sun Peaks. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that area, but it's just straight up the ski hill. And broken up with, my memory's going on me, about between 30 obstacles, 40 obstacles.
Wow.
In total, because it's 2 loops of the course.
And how long did that take you, Jesse?
6 hours?
No, that's pretty good.
No. No, it was. I'm lying on that one. It's probably closer to 8. I'd have to double check. I'm thinking it's more 8. There was quite a lot of power hiking involved with that.
Well, I would say then that was your first ultra, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's not my first ultra, then Sinister 7 would have been the first ultra that I did.
Which is 100 miler.
Year previous. Yes.
So you went from doing a long distance obstacle course right into 100 mile. Forget the 50K, forget the 50 mile.
Yeah.
Right in there.
Hey, go big or go home. That's what I always say.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah, like and I've never done a true marathon to begin with. Like, in all my running, I've never done a marathon, so I still need to take that off the bucket list.
Right.
But no, one of my friends, she convinced me, twisted my arm a bit to say, hey, let's do something really crazy and insane, and jump into doing 100 miles in the summer. So I was like, okay. Yeah, it wasn't too hard to convince. But
are you still friends?
Yeah, it was a little. Yeah, we're still friends at time to time.
Okay.
Well, I'm curious to know how that went then, because you didn't do anything through the night before.
No. As I said, the longest run that I did for that was that obstacle race. So 8 hours, 9 hours of running was the longest. Sinister 7, it was an interesting one. I'm not sure. Have you guys done that race before?
Not that one, but we know the company that does that race, so we know I've done Black Spur out that way, which is the same company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with Sinister 7, it's the first third of the race is super runnable, which can be really tricky, which is what we found out to begin with. And then halfway through, my friend Melissa, she was having health problems, so she dropped me in the middle of the woods and told me to go run in the dark and chase some bears. Luckily, she got better and helped crew me throughout the rest of the race. So
nice.
Running in the dark up a creek in the middle of the night, it's definitely an experience I won't forget anytime soon.
So when the sun was setting, like now you're in unfamiliar territory. So what's going on through your mind? The sun is setting.
No, I was more focused on her, actually. I was wanting to make sure, as opposed to anything that as opposed to panic or nutrition or anything. So it's more just get to the next aid station.
Right.
And hope for the best.
So you guys did the night together then?
But no, no. She dropped me. Just before. Around 3 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. So just right before the sun was setting. So
what did you what did you learn that you had no idea would happen during 100 miles? What are the things that you learned on the fly?
On the fly? Test out my gear and nutrition. Those would have been the two. I had one of the sections in Sinister 7. It's a really muddy section that you're going up one of the mountains. And I brought poles because I was told you need poles when you're doing these long distance races. So I bought these cheap poles. I put one of the poles into the mud, and half of it came out, half of it stayed in the ground.
Oh no.
So I guess you get what you pay for that one. And I was basically doing 31 kilometers on the longest leg with one pole, just prodding along.
Right.
So
you only need one pole to fight the bears.
Yeah, true enough. Very true. Yeah.
So was there any part in that race where you're thinking, this is just not going to happen? There's just no way I'm going to get to this finish line. Were you having self-doubt?
There was definitely some self-doubt. There was definitely a little bit of self-doubt heading into the big, the sixth leg. But when I saw my crew, they really pumped me up. They gave me some soup, some hot foods, gave me a talking to, said that we're here for you and we're going to see you at the finish line.
Oh.
So because of the crew that I had, they really gave me the proper motivation.
Right.
To continue on, to put my left foot in front of my right foot and for momentum.
And when you crossed the finish line, what went through your mind? Were you thinking never again, or were you thinking sign me up?
I was too delirious at that time. I left all of my emotions were on the last two legs of Sinister and on those mountains. So I was too emotionally wrecked to think much past how bad my feet must have looked. I was convinced that there was a huge blister on my feet, and I was just making stuff up in my head as it went.
And then after Sinister, it looks like you took on the Canadian Death Race in Grand Cache.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite race that I've done. Grand Cache. For those who haven't seen it, it's a small mountain town in the Rockies that we have here. But the community just comes together for this race. It's owned by Sinister Sports again. And I can't say a bad thing about what that crew does. It's one of my favorite companies. Again, it's another tricky race that you think it's runnable until it's not. And dealing with the two mountains. And the first time I did it, I was cresting the second mountain, Mount Hamel, right as the sun was setting. So I could see far out in the distance. And I tell everyone, if you have the opportunity, go do the Canadian Death Race.
It was actually Norm's first ultra, and
really?
Yeah, and I competed on a relay team, and we were actually the top Ontario team, because at that time it was 2005.
Oh, sweet!
Yeah, 2005.
There weren't many Eastern teams. They were mostly Western, so we really had our work cut out for us. Yeah, but we understand.
Congratulations.
We understand what you're saying. The fact that the town really embraces it, and it's very well run, and it's worth checking out for sure.
The reason why I say go big or go home is because the Canadian Death Race was my first ultra, so I understand what's going through your mind.
Yeah.
And when you entered that race, were you aware that it was a Western States qualifier, or did that happen after?
No, I was aware. I was aware that it was a states qualifier. I thought I'd have to build up my tickets, so I started saying, I know who's putting the race on. I trusted the people, and just built up tickets on that. Same thing with Lost Soul in Lethbridge. Just put in tickets for those ones.
Right. Okay.
What's the video that you said that that inspired you about Western States from Billy Yang?
Oh, Life in a Day.
Oh, yes, Life in a Day. Yes,
Life in a Day. I don't know what's with that movie. I always seem to get allergies when I'm watching it. My allergies just keep on happen. I must have hay fever every time I click on the link to that, or I'm cutting onions. One of the two.
Life in a Day. That's when he did the Western States, right?
No, Life in a Day is when he's focusing in on the women's field.
Oh,
so
right.
He focuses on Magda. The way it's shot, the music, the inspiration that the women have, and the camaraderie. It's not they're friends in it. They're competing, but they're friends, and you can really catch the how magical the race is and how special it is to everyone involved, from the runners to the people who are the race director to the people who are just cheering on the sidelines. You can really capture the essence of what that race is, and there's something there that I really want to experience and to celebrate.
Have you seen
especially after
one that you liked with Anton, with the chase?
Oh, that's
Unbreakable?
Unbreakable, yeah.
That's another beautifully shot movie. When it focuses on Anton, and to see Killian, it's just because you see Killian online on his socials, and then see how young he was in that movie.
Yeah,
I think because that was his first time at Western States and the first time running in America.
That's right.
And it did not look pleasant at the end for him, but he made it up in a few years after that.
He sure did.
So hopefully when Billy listens to this podcast, he can say, "Hey, Billy, you inspired this guy. See, you inspired one guy.
Just one.
That's all about it.
Just
one guy."
Right.
Yeah.
And so after Death Race, you put your ticket in for Western. And did you even pay attention to the lottery, or were you watching it, or were you?
I did. I didn't. Well, both years I didn't have much. I wasn't too optimistic. I don't think I was watching it online, but I was following it as the names popped up on Twitter and whatnot. But it was the first year it came up. I was expected. Saw the names, and then went out, put the phone down, went for a run. Second time, that was I was cutting onions at the time when my name got drawn. So yeah, it was a bit more emotional on that end. Phoned some friends, told them.
So you were by yourself?
Going to the big dance. Yeah. I was. I think my girlfriend was working at the time, so she was out of the house at the time. So
oh, wow.
I was just by myself with the two pets, and phoned a few people. It seems like I got blank stares back at me because they didn't really understand the importance of the race.
Well, we like to finish up our podcast with a little rapid fire.
Sure.
So if you wouldn't mind, just answer the first thing that comes into your mind, okay? All right.
Okay.
Oh, I think you had a little story to tell us about worst chafing experience. You can elaborate that a little bit if you like.
So again, I was a bit on the heavier side when I started running. It was just running down by the river downtown. It's a beautiful area to run in. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a cheap white shirt, cheap athletic shirt, and when I was finished the 5K, I looked down, and there was blood coming out of my nipples. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know, is this stigmata, or did someone shoot me while I was running? I had no. It was like Niagara Falls that was coming out of me. Two direct shots. And it was white, so the blood was dripping down. It looked like there was a smiley face on a white shirt. It was just horrible. I was tempted just to give up running at that time. Luckily, it was only a few times, 2 or 3 times that this has happened. But yeah, it was just one of the just weirdest and freakiest things I've ever done.
Is that the only time you learned from that lesson of what to do different?
No, I didn't. Luckily, my nipples are diamond cutters at the moment. I've never had any chafing up there before. Chafing at other places, but that's the only time that I've had chafing in that area.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, 80s or 90s music?
Oh, 90s for sure. I grew up in the 90s. I'm grunge and punk.
Nice. Beer or wine, or neither?
Or both?
At the moment, neither. In the past, it was definitely more IPAs than the beer.
Gotcha. Okay. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble on this one. Because I'll go Star Wars. I'll be honest. I'm not too familiar with either one.
Have you ever seen
Star Wars?
Have you ever seen Yoda on a late run? You ever see Yoda in the bushes? No? Never happened, eh?
No. I've had hallucinations of dragons before, but that's as far as I've gotten.
Well, that's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Do you have a tattoo?
I do. Right in the middle of my chest, I have a 4-leaf clover.
Nice.
For my Irish heritage.
Oh, sweet. Butter tarts with or without raisins?
With raisins.
Yes.
My heart.
It's the walnuts. The butter tarts with walnuts. I'll pick those out.
Yeah,
raisins,
that's not a butter tart. That's not a butter tart. Another sport you'd like to excel in other than running?
Soccer. Oh. I grew up playing soccer. I was was horrible at it, and I wish I could actually kick a soccer ball to another player properly without it launching 10 yards in the outside.
And name a food you could eat for a week straight and not get tired of it.
I'd have to go with the lasagna.
Carbs.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I wouldn't. I don't know how I do with my running after eating lasagna for a week, but I think I could manage.
Yeah.
To increase the mileage on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jesse. It was really nice to meet you.
You're welcome. Well, it's nice to meet you guys too.
And good luck with your training for Western 2022.
Yeah, I'll be at the start line.
Yeah, you as well.
Thank you.
And I'll see you guys in Olympic Valley, Olympic Village. See you in Olympic Village.
Cool.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
There you have it.
Lucky guy, man.
Lucky guy.
Lucky guy.
I would have bought a lottery ticket if I were him. I think that was the day.
You know what was sad about that is that he was just by himself,
Aww,
cutting onions.
So sad.
When he found out that he got in, he did, and he calls his friends. Hey, I got into Western States. What's that?
Exactly. I think we can all relate to that, though.
Yes, there's always somebody.
They just don't get it. They don't get it. But I think. I'm sure he's more than made up for it between then and now. But
also, I like the fact that how he got inspired by Billy Yang.
That's right.
Billy Yang, Day in the Life, Western States.
Yeah.
And he says, you know what? I'm going to do this. Cool. Thanks, Billy, for inspiring this guy. Cool. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Cheers.